Welcome back to the vlog. Kato here, and today we're doing a $300 buy-in at the 1-3 game. The very first hand I'm tossed under the gun is Ace-King offsuit. Scoop a small pot with it, and then the very next hand in the big blind, I look down at Ace-King suited, and the cherry on top is that the player to my left has straddled. The hijack player limps in, and remember, when there's a straddle on the pot, it's no longer 1-3, now it's 3-6, and you have to make a bet accordingly. I make it 25. I am not a big fan of solo straddling. If the entire table is doing it, I'll definitely do it as well. I'm never going to be the buzzkill at the table. You always want to create a fun, enjoyable environment. But when you straddle solo, you typically get yourself into situations you don't want to be in, like calling 25 under the gun, probably with a holding that's not so great. And of course, the hijack, who had a limping hand, now all of a sudden has a $25 hand. So I'm definitely ahead, just looking to pound the flop. And it comes out 4, queen, 3, 2 diamonds. Now I'm drawing to 2 overs and the nut flush. I'm going to continue to build this pot, maybe take it down here if no one has a queen. I go with a large bet of 60, almost a pot-sized bet. Maybe this bet is too big. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be going large or small with my sizing. I kind of want to take the pot down now. And of course, when I have so much equity, I think to myself, of course, I'm going to hit my diamond. If someone has an answer to this, throw it down in the comments. The player to my left is taking forever to make a decision, probably has a pair of threes, eventually decides to throw it away. So does the hijack.
Same hand, first 2 hands.
I show those hands to strike fear into my opponents that I'm on a heater. I'm only going to get dealt monsters today. That way, maybe I can get away with a few extra bluffs. The poker gods tease me hard because after those first 2 hands, they give me orbits and orbits worth of junk, but it lets us have the perfect opportunity to hit that thumbs up button, drop a like on the video. It goes so far. Also, hit that subscription, turn on the notification bell, and let's get back to the poker. I pick up ace-jack of diamonds, scoop a small pot, and then I decide, you know what, I got to get the hell out of this table. There's nothing here for me, hardly any chips, no cards, so I rack up my chips, scout out a better field, and get the hell out of Dodge. Sitting down at my new table, right across from me is about $1,000 worth of greens, and there are other greens at this table. I feel like a man in the 1950s just home from a long day in the coal mines. It's time to feast, and hopefully I'm feasting on green chips. My first opportunity to fill my plate at this table comes in the form of 6-5 of spades on the cutoff, 360 in my stack. Action folds to me, and of course, with my position, I make a bet to 15. The button makes the fold. The small blind pushes his hand away, but the big blind isn't going anywhere. He tosses in 3 reds, and we're going heads up to the flop. $31 in the middle. The dealer burns, turns, and puts out some sweet beauty. 8, 3, 7, 2 spades. As a matter of fact, I have a bona fide straight flush draw. Bad beat jackpot is in play. I make it 15 when he checks to me. He's not going anywhere yet. He calls for 15. We're looking for the goods on the turn, but it's another 3 pairing the board. That looks like a big blind special if I've ever seen it, but he checks it to me, and right when I go and touch chips, he grabs his card like he's going to fold, telegraphing to me what he's going to do, so I throw him in, and he makes a fold instantly. Don't do this at the table. I flip up my cards. Same strategy as before. Let him know that I'm coming with monsters today. I lose an insignificant pot on the flop, down to 364, and then I smell some perfume when the dealer tosses me the cards. Not sure why until I look down at the ladies, and they've gotten dressed up for me, apparently. There's a button straddle on the pot. I didn't notice it, and I make it 15. Would have made it larger if I did notice it. Got to be paying attention at all times. Folds to the small blind, who decides to make the call. The button straddler makes a call as well. We're going 3 ways to the flop, $48 in the pot, and it comes out, and they're all undercards, and they're big-time undercards. There's a little connectivity with the diamonds and the 6-7. Because of these factors, I'm going to go with a large sizing, no free cards. I gently set 6 red chips on the table, 30 to go. The button looks back at his cards to make sure he has what he has, does a few shuffles of the chips, and decides he's not going to call, he's not going to fold, he's going to ship his entire stack, $121 into the pot. The small blind quickly gets out of the way. I quickly call. We're going to a run out, hoping it's clean with this nasty board. An 8 comes, which is terrible, and then the 10 of diamonds, which is like the worst card in the deck, comes, but my opponent says he has nothing. I graciously flip up my queens. He tosses his hand in the muck and gets home to go tell his wife how he got a bad beat, because now his chips are mine. 5-18 in my stack, and I pick up pocket queens again under the gun this time. They worked out beautifully last time. Let's see what's in store for this time. I don't really like big pocket pairs in early position because you can't 3-bet, so I have to put out a $15 bet, and hopefully someone else takes the initiative and does it for me. The middle position player calls. The low jack throws in 3 reds. The hijack makes the call. The big blind defends. 5-way action to the flop. $76 in the pot. Makes me a little nervous. There's a lot of players in this hand. I have bad position. If an ace or a king comes, I'm in big trouble. The dealer puts out the flop, and it's queen high. Hit my set. Pretty dry, clean board. Lots of players in the pot. Hopefully someone has something. I throw out a very small bet of 15, just asking to get sucked out by the river. The low jack comes along. Everyone else folds, and we're on our way to the turn. And it's a beautiful card. The jack of spades bringing nothing else in. I'm sure I'm sitting with the nuts. Now I'm going to amp it up a little bit. Bet half-size pot, $60. 176 total in the pot. What is my opponent going to do? He grabs a big stack of chips, not 60, but 120, puts them into the middle, and min raises me. A min raise? What the hell does this mean on this board? There are barely any hands worth min raising here. The only ones I can think of are pocket deuces, pocket sevens, queen jack, maybe ace jack of diamonds. I have a really hard time deciding what to do here. If I shove, it's going to be a pot-sized bet, and it would just look so strong. But if I called and jammed on the river, if a diamond comes, it's really going to slow me down. If a diamond doesn't come and he has a diamond draw, like ace jack of diamonds, then he's definitely not going to call. And so I decided to go for a raise, but leave a little bit of chips behind for him so he wouldn't be too overwhelmed by the situation. I decided to almost min raise it back, make it 300, and he goes into a monologue.
180 more.
Fuck it, bro. I know you're gonna go all in anyway. You might as well get it over.
He says F it and makes the call, and this brings up a very important point. If you hear those words trickle into your head, which I'm sure you do, and you throw in those chips, why not? No. If you say F it in your head or out loud, just make the fold. It'll save you a lot of money in the long run. He says if you have a set, you win. Music to my ears, although I already know that this is the case. I'm sitting with the nuts on this board, but he still has money behind. Don't give away information like this. The 8 of diamonds comes on the river, bringing in straights, bringing in flushes, but the only hands with diamonds that I can see him min raising the turn with are king 10, 9, 10 of diamonds, and I don't think he has the ace king of diamonds.
I'm all in.
It's all in now. Set of queens.
He mucks his hand, but then he decides to show the table. Pocket 7, set over set, flopping middle set and losing to the bigger set. Absolutely brutal. But his pain is my gain. Look at those chips. Absolutely massive stack in front of me. I trade in 700 reds for 700 greens to look as cool as the guy across the table from me at seat 1. This table change ended up perfect. 1075 on my stack, and I pick up pocket jacks in the small blind. The low jack makes it 15. It folds around to me. I make it 40. And then the low jack raises me to 85. Now, I'm not sure if you can see, but over there protecting his chips is one of my pirate chip protectors, absolutely filled with luck. Don't wait to get yours. Link in the description below. But I just get the sneaky feeling that he's not 4-betting me with worse. And he decides to taunt me a little bit. He grabs the pirate card protector and spins it on his cards. A trick I showed him. It just spins forever. He's got a big grin on his face. He's cool, calm, and collected. No need to put a bunch of money in the pot that I just won to C5 when I think that my hand is at the very, very bottom of my opponent's 4-betting range. And so I decide to let it go. And since he's my buddy, he's a gentleman and shows me the pocket queens, validating my laydown and also confirming that that card protector is a magnet for monster pairs, monster hands. Speaking of monster hands, this session has mainly been me playing premiums. And then I pick up ace king offsuit in the low jack, 1029 on my stack. There's an under the gun limp. I open it to 15. And the cutoff off the screen to your left makes the call. Everyone else folds. We go to the flop. It has 2 8s and a 4 on it. And I'm going to continuation bet small on this drive board. I make it 15. And my opponent makes the call. The turn is a 9. And I decide I'm going to slow down, check. My opponent checks back. The river is a 5. And we check again. My opponent shows 7-5 spades. Calling for the gut shot on the backdoor spade draw. If I would have bet again on the turn, I definitely could have taken it down. Dropped just below $1,000, $999 on my stack. And I pick up king jack offsuit in the cutoff. Now I have to play a hand that's not so hot. It folds to me. I open to 15. And I get one caller out of the small blind. The flop comes jack 5-6, pairing my bottom card. And I have a great kicker. I throw out a half pot size bet. Definitely could have gone larger, especially since I don't hold a spade. The small blind tags along. And the river is the 4 of spades. Bringing in spades, bringing in straights. The small blind checks to me again. I throw out a little bit bigger bet of 20, but that turn put way too much pressure on his hand. He passes his card to the dealer, and I scoop his small pot. This next hand is interesting. I pick up king, queen of clubs in the hijack. Action folds to me. I throw out 3 reds for 15. The player to my left quickly makes a call. The button tosses his hand away, and the small blind looks at his cards and decides to make the call. Everyone else folds. 3-way action to the flop. $48 in the pot. The dealer rolls over 8, jack 6. That's the jack of clubs giving me the backdoor straight draw. I've got 2 overs. I think I should probably bet this looking at it now, but I decided to check it over. And the cutoff wastes no time. Chucking in chips, 25 to go. The small blind thinks about it, slowly shuffles his whites, and then he makes the call. And I very quickly decide on a fold. But now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking maybe I should have floated. Oh, fuck, that's the jack of hearts. No wonder I folded. Well, anyway, if it was the jack of clubs, what would you guys do there? Would you ever find any raises? The next one I get is pocket 8s. The under the gun player limps. I toss out a bet of 15. The cutoff comes long. The big blind completes. The under the gun player throws in 12 more. 61 in the pot. 4 ways to the flop, and it comes out jack, jack 7. A great hand for my pocket 8s. As long as one of these mini players in the pot doesn't have a jack, if it was heads up, I'd feel a lot better. But I'm still going to continue betting. Protect my hand. I make it 25. The cutoff folds. Actions on the big blind. He puts 100 into the middle of the pot. Although I have a strong hand, I know big bets are coming. It's going to be hard to navigate. I just toss it away. I play a few more hands, start to get tired, and decide I'm going to get up from the table, rack up these chips, and take them to the cage and turn them into cold, hard cash. In for 300, out for 856 for a profit of $556. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Kato out.